Did you know that on average, approximately 4 bankruptcy cases, this is non-business, are filed per hour in the U.S.? Now, why is this important? First, let me start by saying that according to Forbes, the median savings in the United States is approximately $450 per month. On one hand, we have people depositing $450 a month for savings. On the other hand, we have 4 individuals filing for bankruptcy every hour. Blows my mind. And that brings me to what I am often asked. And I cannot say how many times I'm asked, how much gold and silver should I own? I never really looked it up or calculated or, see what the advice from the experts was. But I did have some extra time this weekend. I looked it up. Now I have to say this is for the U.S. market. I understand that Canada, Europe, or even Asian countries may be quite different. I can show you some of the things to look for in your old country if you want to do your calculations. You can even have AI help you out as I did. Now, after reading several articles, I noticed that experts can agree on that gold or silver should be a part of your savings or retirement. Most stated that 10 to 20% should be in silver and or gold, and most preferred gold by a long shot. But I always say, do what works best for you. Now, I'll give you the numbers in gold first, followed by silver. Okay, and let's jump right in. First, I do want to thank you for joining me here at Cash and Coins. I really do appreciate it. I hope you're having a great day. If you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing. And if you like the video, hit the like button. And I do got a little bonus at the end. I try to throw those in from time to time. Now, I want to tell you that I am a firm believer in never putting all your eggs in one basket. You hear me say it over and over again. And in other words, what I'm saying is diversify your savings or your retirement as much as possible. Because if one fails, you have the other. And I call my diversification actually buckets. I don't call them eggs. So I have many buckets. Yeah, one of my buckets is cash. Another one is real estate. Another is bonds. Another is the stock market, actual stocks or ETFs. And then the other bucket is gold and the other one is silver. Now, I am not a financial planner. I'm just offering you my opinions so that maybe they could be some help. But if not, that's okay too. Now, I am a believer that most of your money should be put to work. I do believe that lazy money doesn't produce much income, but that's a different subject for a different video. Back to gold and silver. First, I want to say I did consult with AI for the latest information, and I did some research myself. It's clear that cost can vary significantly depending on where you live. I noticed that in larger cities or expensive areas like New York City or Beverly Hills, you're going to need more resources. However, in smaller towns with reasonable housing and living costs, these numbers seem to work well. And you'll see what I'm getting at in just a minute. For example, in California, a house might cost you around $800,000, whereas in Illinois or Alabama, the same house would sell for only $260,000. This shows how much variation there can be. And I got these from Forbes and from Rocket Homes or Rocket Mortgage. But I wanted to also mention that it is so important to consider the median income for each state. In some areas, housing costs are high, but incomes aren't proportionate, which can make things challenging for residents or people who really want to save. And I got this information from CNBC. You can see here that the income in California, median income is only $54,000, which is about the same. It's just a little bit more than for Alabama, which is $41,000. But the housing, remember, in California was $800,000, and Alabama was only $260,000. So that's important to note too, because if you're paying on a house, you can't save. back to the important stuff, right? Based on my findings and AI recommendations, here are the calculations for how much gold or silver one should have in savings or retirement. And we're going to start at under 35, 20%, and it says you should have about $49,000, and that's about $10,000 in gold and silver. If you are 35 to 44, 20%, it says you by that age you should have 141,000 or about $28,000 in gold and silver. That's 141,000 totally saved. Now by 45 or 54 says you should have 313,000 totally saved, with the percentage 20% of that in gold and silver, which is $62,000. And 55 to 64, by then you should have about $500,000 saved up and 107,000 in gold and silver. Now, 65 to 74, 20% of your income is going to be 121,000 in gold and silver. And savings, you should have about 609,000. I do believe that those are some really big numbers for some, and I believe that they are really small amounts for others. So I just wanted to say again, these are just averages. Okay, now for that bonus I said I was going to give you, I'm going to tell you these amounts using the current price of gold and silver so you can see in ounces how much silver and how much gold you should have instead of cash. So remember, under 35, you should have approximately 4 ounces of gold or 340 ounces of silver. If you're 35 to 44, you should have approximately 12 ounces of gold or about 1,000 ounces of silver. If you're 45 to 54, you should have 26 ounces of gold, 2,000 ounces of silver. By 55 to 64, you should have 45 ounces of gold, or about 3,700 ounces of silver, almost 4,000 there. And then by 65 to 74, you should have 50 ounces of gold or 4,200 ounces of silver. So there you have it. Whew. Yeah, discovering how much gold and silver you should have by each age, I think is pretty fun. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, the average American saves about $450 per month, yet bankruptcy rates remain alarmingly high. And considering gold and silver as part of a financial strategy, it could be a game changer. These precious metals act as safeguards, making it harder to impulsively spend, allowing for your savings to flourish. Now, in these challenging economic times, exploring alternative options like this can provide some sense of empowerment, and I really believe that. Remember, we've all faced rough patches, and offering choices is a step towards resilience. Please let me know if you agree with the amounts of silver and gold that one should own by age. It would be really interesting. Just put it down in the comments. I do want to thank you for watching Cash and Coins, and as I always say, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you on the next video.
Thank you for watching Cash and Coins, and as always, have a wonderful day.